Hello and welcome to Tome of Uselessness, the podcast where we talk about stuff. I'm Devin.
I'm Dan.
And today we're going to talk about anime. Specifically, Compulsive Gambler, which has a Japanese name I can't pronounce.
It's Kakegurui, I believe.
Kakegurui.
Yeah. It's on Netflix, one season of it.
Yeah, I think it's a Netflix exclusive show?
Well, I think it is here. Because I was doing some reading, and I assume it played in in Japan on a TV or a TV network and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it got released to Netflix in our area.
Cool.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Okay.
I was sold on the first episode. It's so... Okay, so you know how sometimes there's anime that's like, I'm going to be classy, I'm going to show panty shots, but they're going to be kind of by accident?
Yeah.
And then there's anime that's like, we're going to play like this is by accident, but it's totally on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this show that's just so gratuitous with all of its, sexuality, all of its violence, all of its depravity. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's the best.
Yeah? Well, I mean...
The opening credit scene sequence with the song.
Yeah, the opening credit sequence is really good.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really well done.
It's so worth watching if you like debauchery.
Well, and there's 12 episodes to the one season on Netflix right now, and so it's not that long, really to invest in a show.
Yeah, they're 20-minute episodes, they're not super long.
Yeah.
I made Dan watch 2 of them.
Yeah, and then I finished it up a couple of days ago, and it turned out it was just released in February on Netflix, right? So it's super recent.
So it's new.
Yeah, it's newer to Netflix for sure. And I actually, like I said, I finished it up. I really enjoyed a lot about it, but there's some things about it that I didn't enjoy.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I really did like the opening credits, like you said. That was a cool credit sequence. Yeah, it's just...
Do you know what my favorite thing about this show is?
All right.
And it happens in every episode, is that it'll be super anime and la la la, and it's so pretty to look at, and then kind of, when they're doing the booby shots or whatever, it's sexy or whatever, and then all of a sudden they'll switch to an angle on a character that is so unflattering and makes them look just evil and mean, and I love it. It's my favorite thing of the show.
Well, I think that's
so unexpected and not something you typically see in anime, and it's so good.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the point, is that it shows their real first personality and face, and it's all distorted and messed up at a weird angle, and their mouths are too big and their eyes are all so it's that was cool. Well, before getting into anything too spoilerish or anything like that,
But that was my favorite thing about it.
That was your favorite thing. Okay, well, basically, there's the main character, Yumeko Jabami is their name, but Yumeko. Yeah. She transfers to this school.
Is she the main character? I thought the guy was the main character.
No, the guy just follows her around. It's from his perspective.
Point of view.
Yeah, but he's not the main character. She is.
Okay.
He's kind of the narrator, right? In a sense.
Okay.
But it's her. And she transfers to this school.
I disagree. I think he's the main character.
And then this school.
And you know what? I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because in the last episode, his character arc comes.
Yes.
He's the one that changes the most. He's the one kind of up against the most.
Well, that was in my notes about the last episode.
Well, we'll get to the last episode. Sure. But what I'm saying is, his character grows and changes the most from start to finish. And he comes up against the most conflict, whereas Yumeko does not change.
Oh, no.
At all.
Sure, no.
She's very static. And every other character, except maybe Mary, has a little bit of an arc. But
I think, the reason I would classify her as more of the main character is that she's the one doing things the entire show.
I guess so.
Like I said, Ryota is just following her, and then he's and then he gets involved in the schemes, but it's Yumeko's schemes that he just gets wrapped up in.
I think we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Sure.
I think Ray Liotta is the main character, not Yumeko. I think Yumeko is almost more the event that happens that puts the story in motion.
I guess, but then... and this was a thing I was going to get to. But anyway, she arrives at the school. Turns out this school, after classes and during recess and stuff like that, it's all about gambling. Yeah. And everyone's all like wealthy, so it's like high stakes gambling. And then the student council has like a ranking system where if you owe too much money, you're a house pet, and then people, can make you clean shit up and do stuff.
They make you do whatever they want.
Yeah, they make you do whatever you want, but you can try to win your way back and pay your debts off.
And all the girls are called Mittens.
Yes.
And all the boys are called Fido.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, that's the school.
Yeah. And we do not see a single teacher.
Except for the first scene. When she introduces Yumiko.
Right, that's right.
That's it.
Yeah, and then we do not see a single teacher, principal, anything.
Yeah, there's no, per anime.
No adults.
Yeah, there's no adults. They all leave because they're like, this school is crazy, let's just get out of here.
Yes. They got this. They'll be fine.
They're alright. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the events follow through the 12 episodes.
So it kind of starts out, this is not a spoiler, it happens in the first 5 minutes, that Ryota is lost some gambling against Mary.
Yes.
And he's now a house pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's resolved by the end of episode 1.
It is.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like, that's where we come into it.
Yeah. Well, and it's so weird because that's what you're saying, where it was like, I thought it was going to be more about Ryota, and then it's like, they introduce Yumiko, and you're like, okay, and then it just switches so much focus onto her that I was like, oh, I thought it would be about him trying to gamble his way back out.
Oh yeah, I could see you thinking that too, right? But no, I still think he's the main character. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, it's our first fight.
No, and then the student council runs the school, essentially, and then they have all these crazy rules and playing the crazy... So here's one thing I was unexpected. It's about gambling.
Should we go in through... Are we into spoilers now?
Sure, I guess. We'll go for spoiler type stuff from here on out.
Yeah.
Is that...
So go watch it if you haven't.
Sure, yeah, Devin. I like I said, I recommend it.
Pause, go watch, and then come back.
I recommend it as well. Just like I said, I did have some issues with it. And it was it was kind of neat how the games that they played were just not your typical casino games. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
The games are another part that I absolutely love in it. Because it's a different game each episode. Yes. Or
except for twice.
There's a few times where it's like a two-parter.
Yeah, two-parter. There's a few times a two-parter.
They explain the rules of the game in every episode, which I kind of... At first, I'm like, oh my God, are they going to do this? And then I started just loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was liking that fact how there was a different game, too, every time. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it's all these weird games, and some of them are, made up, supposedly, I guess, but they're probably a variation on a different game.
Yeah.
But then what disappointed me, in a sense, is that it's just... Everyone's always cheating... And that's fine, but then it's always, we never get the protagonist or Yumiko, she just sits there and then she explains how she beats the game at the end.
Oh, I kind of like that.
When she wins, but there's never any kind of internal psychology about what's she gonna do versus, because we always get the evil or the other person at the other end that she's gambling against.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this is my plan, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm working really awesome. And you're like, okay, but what's her plan? And then she just sits there and then she explains how they cheat. And then there's no plan. She just went one kind of thing.
Okay, so here is my interpretation of that. Mm-hmm. Is that Yumiko is slightly insane.
Yeah, well, yes.
And a compulsive gambler. And she is playing because she wants the risk of losing. I don't mind that it doesn't show her coming to the conclusion that they're cheating.
No,
I don't mind that it doesn't show her having a plan.
Yeah.
I like that she's just I'm fucking crazy. I know you're cheating. Yeah. This is how I'm going to try to step her... Because in the last episode, that's what the whole last episode is about.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Okay. I
liked it.
I was just hoping that you get some more of that, because then you get some more kind of oh man, they have this and they're strategizing.
That would have been a different show.
Yeah.
This is about crazy people being crazy.
Because they do talk about it in some of the episodes, the Indian poker game they play and a couple other ones where she tells the other people the plan and how she's going to try to counter it, but then most of the time you don't really get that.
Yeah.
So
I feel like if the show was about Mary, we would have gotten that. Because I feel like Mary was more about like playing to win,
Right.
but Yumiko was more about playing to
just play.
Yeah. Whereas like, and that part of her character was mirrored in one of the council members, but turned up to like 100.
Yeah.
Wait, do you remember what her name is?
Eye patch?
Yeah, eye
No,
patch.
I don't remember her name.
So
It started with an R.
There's a character with an eye patch who basically wants to almost die all the time.
She wants to play Russian roulette a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Or a variant on Russian roulette.
Yeah. Or Russian roulette with all the bullets in the gun.
Yeah. I wonder what my odds are.
And that's like what she gets her rush for.
Yes.
Is she wants to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the reveal later too, like with why she has an eye patch.
Yeah,
I
that was
like,
so good.
Yeah. Sheesh. Easy. Well, and then so I wanted to talk about some of the games.
Yeah,
I thought
let's
there were
go
some cool
for it.
ones. So they play a rock paper scissors game in the first episode, which I thought that was kind of neat and well. It was they got the students to write on cards rock paper or scissor, and they put it in like a lockbox.
Yeah.
And then they each drew 3 cards and then played them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That was cool. That was a cool idea for a game.
Yeah. And then, of course, like I said, cheating and etc.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, because then you have your cards and you have to try to like, it's still rock, paper, scissors, but you have potentially limited options, or, you don't have all access to every move, as it were.
Do you know what my favorite game was?
Which one?
The one that she plays against a first council member.
The life or death game, right? With the swords.
Life or death.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of multi-layered, where it was a bit like roulette, where it's like if the sword lands on your number, then you get points.
Yeah.
But then there was an added thing where if the sword landed blade up, it was death, and if it lands blade down, it was life. Yeah. So if you got the right number, but it was death, you just fucking lost.
Yeah, you had to. Your like bet was like 37 times in the minus.
Yeah. And then if it was up, then
you were like in the jackpot.
Yeah, I thought that was like an interesting twist.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool game as well.
Because like so much of that would be left up. There was cheating in that game too,
of course,
but it would be left up to chance.
Yeah.
Also, and like,
chance-ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with a fair dealer, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah, with a fair dealer, then it would be left up to chance.
Yeah, but they had a scheme there, and then like they played. I thought that was kind of a weird when they played in the second episode the concentration. I was like, that seems like a weird game to gamble on, but
yeah. I mean, I like the second episode because that's when you start to understand how strange the show is going to be.
Yeah.
When, I guess that was the first council member.
Oh yeah, she technically is. Yes. Yeah. She. Yume To or Yume Te or whatever.
Yeah, cute girl.
Yeah.
The like rich girl that got in the council because she paid to get on.
Because she paid to get on. Yeah.
So they play. Memory.
Double concentration.
Where they have to like
2 decks. And
match cards.
Suits don't matter. It was like pure, or it had to be suits.
Suits and number.
Yeah. So it was extra difficult. Yeah.
But so she loans Yumiko money to play.
Yeah.
Yumiko loses the first round, and then it's like in a moment the show goes from being kind of like, okay, this is a weird little anime.
Yeah, she's gonna owe some money.
To super dark.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I bet, like, if I win, I get to rip out your fingernails and toenails.
I was just like, what?
Because I like to collect people's fingernails and toenails.
Well, and that's where it goes, like you said, really strange, because she opens up a case and she's got them, and she's all like caressing them and everything. And you're like, whoa, what did just happen here?
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. And then it's weird later how she doesn't really display that kind of tendencies or anything.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, later on, she bites her own nails off.
No, but it was like for a dramatic reason, not like for something else, right? That was a great scene.
Totally. But they touch back on it, I should say.
No, but then Yumiko flips it on her because she realizes how she was cheating, wins instantly, and then she's like, oh, we can play again, and this time I want your nails. And that's all like creepy on her. And then she basically breaks down and is like, I can't handle this. Which was kind of cool because it's like, okay, I think that's the point, is that she figured out the cheating method, and then they're like, oh, if we play another one straight, she's like, I will not be able to beat her.
Yeah. Or I wouldn't be guaranteed to beat her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the Indian poker was kind of cool. This is where it was kind of weird for both the poker games, because they do another poker game later.
I can't remember the Indian poker. Was that...
That was in the debt settlement game.
Okay, I thought so.
And then, they get into the 4 people, and there's only going to be like 10 hands. And then it's like... It was interesting because everyone's chips were worth different amounts.
Yes.
I thought that was kind of a neat twist on it. And then as well...
That was a really cool... Okay,
Yeah.
So to set this up...
Okay, we're setting it up.
Yumiko... Wait, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
Lost.
Yes, in the life or death game, she loses.
In the life or death game, she loses. She's in debt. She's become a mittens.
Yeah, she owes 310 million yen, I think. Or something like that. Yeah.
I think at this point it's also the life plans have been introduced.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Mary is also a mittens.
Yes, because she lost to Yumiko.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the student council has decided that if you can't pay back your money, they're going to give you a life plan in which they tell you who you're going to marry, how many kids, what school you go to.
You'll marry a politician and whatever, etc.
So they have this debt settlement party where everybody or anybody who has a debt is allowed to come and participate.
Yeah. To try to win money.
So they can pay back the debt.
Yeah.
What they're going to do is that they give everybody the same number of
chips. I think it's 10.
10 chips.
Yeah.
But each chip is your debt is divided by the number of chips. So if you have more debt, then your chips are worth more.
Yeah.
And if you have less debt, then your chips are worth less. Isn't there a scheme too where like the winner... So they get put into groups of 4, and then the winner in the group and the loser in the group
We'll swap debts,
We'll swap debts.
Yeah.
And does the two middle ones swap as well?
No, I think then it's like depending on the value of your chips that you have at the end.
Oh, right.
Or no, maybe there is a swap as well. I don't know. I think definitely the first and the last place swapped.
I feel like everybody's...
Debts. I think it was like you got like a cut, and then you could use some of the winnings in a way to to win or to pay off your debt. Yeah. So I thought that was
it was interesting, cool. Right? Yeah.
But the mechanics of the game was unfamiliar.
Sorry, I'm going to explain a little bit more.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So the group of 4, Yumiko and Mary end up in the same group. This really douchey guy who tries to basically...
Yeah, a rapist.
A rapist who tries to rape Yumiko.
Yeah.
Ends up she gets saved by Eye Patch Girl.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah.
They end up in a group with with another girl with short hair who is kind of his pet.
Yeah, it's like he tormented her more, and like, she does stuff for him, so he'll like not torment him, I guess, more, or get tormented by other people. I guess.
Cut off her hair.
I
was so sad at that.
I was like, dang.
I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that's pretty dark.
Yeah. Anyway, so they end up in a group together, and he doesn't actually have any debt. He's not a Fido.
Yeah.
But he borrows money
from a friend
so that it looks like he has debt, so that he can come in, and I don't know what his ultimate scheme was.
I guess he
thought he was so good they'd be able to win more money.
He would win more money. He's like, I'll just win money off the student council by beating these crappy gamblers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Mary and Yumiko get together.
Yeah.
Yumiko has more debt than Mary?
Yes. Mary only owes like 50 million, and Yumiko owes 310.
Right. So. And they switch.
Yeah, not that they switch. It's like Yumiko only reports that she owes 50 million, and Mary borrows 260 million from Ryota.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, and then it looks like Yumiko's chips.
People are always just like, oh, Yumiko has a ton of debt.
Yeah. No, they did switch their papers at one point, too.
I think they just didn't pay attention to the papers. Like, even as an audience, they only show it, like, briefly, and then it, like,
they specifically said that they switched them.
Oh, maybe.
But I think, like, what you said is right, but they also switched it so that it still looked like Yumiko had more debt.
Yeah, okay, so you're saying. Yeah.
So it wasn't actually any cheating in the game, but they kind of made it look like Yumiko's chips were worth more than Mary's.
Yeah, because everyone kind of was all like, yeah, she owes a ton of money. So, and in the game, Buddy's all like, I got more of her chips, I'm good.
Yeah, totally. Nope.
But like I said, the mechanics of the game were just kind of something I've never seen before. It's like they only used 1 to 10 in the deck, and then pairs of suited cards were like the most powerful. But everybody flashed one card and then put it face down afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then it's like, so you looked at, everyone got to look at their one card, and everyone got to see the other one, and then they put it face down. And I guess you never got to look at your cards again.
Yeah.
Right. So I just thought that, because normally in, people can still see the other card in case you forget or whatever, right? You'd be like, oh, that guy still has an ace or whatever. So, but no, so I thought that was, again, another weird, not twist on it, but I was like, oh, that's just different mechanically. And so it made the game interesting
to watch
when they were playing it.
Yeah.
And then just, again, with the bluffing and the betting, because then, it turns out, like, they're working together, and basically Mary and Yumiko are working together, and then Buddy is ordering the girl to do stuff for her, and then so it's like two groups against each other, but they're still playing the game.
Yeah. And then Yumiko kind of helps the girl a little bit too, right?
Yeah, basically kind of like
gives her confidence to stand up to her.
Yeah, because she's like, in the last round, she's like, I know you got the good hand and this and that, and then he's yelling at her to fold. And she's like, bet everything, it'll be awesome. She's like, you will take him down, which they do.
Yeah. Which is great, because then, like, in the end, Mary ends up winning.
And she had the most...
Because she didn't really use that many of her chips.
Yeah.
And then he ended up losing, so they swapped it. So he ends up with, like, 320 million debt or something like that. And then I'm pretty sure Yumiko and her and the girl switch or something. The girl owes less money than she did before.
Yeah. She owes less money than before, but she's not out because she thought she was going to win the pot because she's like, I can get more Jamami chips, and but I was like, no. she won that pot but didn't like win the games. Yeah, so that was kind of cool. Like I said, just different mechanics on some of the games. And then the next game we get to was the ESP/Revolver
oh my God.
game.
That episode was so intense.
Well, it was two-parter.
Those episodes were so intense. Yeah. I love Eye Patch character. She's so fucking weird.
She is very weird.
Just like, she starts like basically orgasming anytime she thinks she's gonna die.
Yeah, or just get shot.
Which makes for an interesting thing. I guess.
It makes for some interesting screen time, I guess,
Her lackeys are dressed in basically like lingerie, or they were in school uniforms, but they're like, their bras are showing and stuff, and they have like garters and shit on. Yeah,
and they're twins, I'm pretty sure. Or
they look very similar.
Very similar to each other.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Yeah, because they basically kidnap Yumiko and Ryota.
Yeah.
And then bring him to like the dungeon room. And then they're like, we're gonna play this crazy game. Where it's basically a mix of Russian roulette and an ESP thing where Ryota has to deal out 5 cards. And then they deal out 5 cards with symbols. And then
they're in different rooms.
They're in different rooms.
It's on videotape. The two girls are watching Ryota in the room.
Yeah. And Ryota can see them. And then it's like they flip their cards up. And then if they get matching symbols, they could pull a trigger on a gun.
Oh, yeah. So there's 2 guns.
2 guns.
And they both get to load them ahead of time with as many bullets as they want.
Yeah.
And then they push the guns off into a bin.
Yeah, real safe, by the way.
Right? And then they
down a metal chute.
And then they pick out a gun if they win and shoot the other person.
Yeah, however many cards they match is how many times they can pull the trigger.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. So doesn't Eye Patch put 6 bullets? No, it's the second round she puts 6 bullets.
I think the first round she loads it up too.
Yeah, she just goes all in.
Yeah, she goes all in. I think the first round, and then Yumiko jams it with lipstick. She says, and then but she also didn't load it as well. I think it was just both. Yeah, and then second round again, she loads it up with 6.
Yeah. So Eye Patch wins and picks Yumiko's gun.
Yeah.
And Yumiko's like, I wouldn't fire that if I were you. I loaded it with lipstick and it might backfire.
It might backfire.
Yeah.
But she still pulls the trigger, I'm fairly certain, right?
Does she? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure you hear a click, which, shows how she doesn't care
She just doesn't give a shit, yeah.
She's just like, whatever, I will blow up this gun in my face.
It'll be great.
Yeah, basically. She will think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
it was an intense 2 episodes.
Yeah, and then it turns out the cheating in this one is that the screen was inverted.
Yes.
Because then Ryota looks on the screen, he's dealing with his left hand, but he's right-handed as a character.
Yeah.
So all the symbols were inverted or whatever, and then I didn't totally fully get how they played into it, and I was like, it's something, whatever. It
was a little hard to follow for me.
Because, it happens pretty quick, and how she quickly explains it, and then she's still holding the gun or whatever, and then...
Because at this point, it's less...
she even pulls the trigger.
It's less about, who's won the game, or how they cheated, and more about Yumiko figuring out that Eye Patch just wants to be killed.
Yeah.
And that she's rigged it so that she can lose or something.
Yeah, basically get shot.
Yeah.
Not necessarily get killed, but at least get shot.
Get shot, yeah. Because she's crazy.
Yeah, because she's crazy. And then,
she looks so cool, though, with her eye patch.
Yeah, her design is actually really good.
Yeah, I really like...
character design and everything.
They make her...
She's got, a couple piercings.
Yeah,
and, eye patch and... Yeah, she's
interesting to look at, yeah.
Her hair's always super frayed.
Yeah, I like it.
No, she's definitely... Yeah, that game, like I said, the cheating element was, it was pretty quickly explained, but it was kind of it didn't really seem that it would still have that big an effect, because it's he's still placing cards, they're still placing cards.
Yeah.
And then it's
Oh, but I think
the order mattered because it flipped because he dealt the same order twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, so then it was flipped, it would be it'd be a different order, I guess.
And I think it was also because Ryota and Yumiko were we have a secret code, even though they didn't.
They didn't, yeah.
So he was flashing his hands.
Yeah.
And then she wants me to pretend I have a code.
Yeah. I like how that's his solution. He's like, wait, we don't have one. And he's like, I'll do something super stupid. Good job, Ryota.
That was an intense episode for Ryota, too, because he's freaking out the entire 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Because she's crazy, she's got a gun, someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to get them out of there, and then Yumiko's like, what the fuck are you doing? I want to gamble. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, be She's like, oh, it'll be okay, it'll be fun.
Yeah, and he's like, what is life? Oh my god, what are we gonna do with the corpse, right?
Yeah.
Made for an interesting couple episodes.
Well, and then that was it as well, because on the third, the first 2 rounds, he takes his time, he's thinking about it, and for the third round, Crazy Girl's just got a gun to Yumiko, and she's like, if you don't deal in 10 seconds, I'm just gonna pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh my god, what do I do now? So, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. And then you get to, it just goes full 180, and they do an idol competition for the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, which you didn't like.
I did not like as much.
Okay.
I thought, actually, what I did like was the stakes that they set up for the idol competition.
What were the stakes again?
The stakes were going to be, if Yumiko loses, she has to become her idol partner in life.
Which I love.
I was like, that's awesome, because she's like, we have to go to dance classes and singing lessons, and there is no life. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then if Yumiko won, she had a tape of her ranting about her friends and how she hates them all, and they're all gross, disgusting losers, and she was going to release that, and she was like, I'll ruin your career. And I was like, wow, that's really cool stakes, actually.
Oh, totally.
I thought they were some of the coolest stakes that they've had in the show up to that point.
Yeah.
Revolver Girl was crazy, and that's potentially you're going to die, but I was like... but this was
this is living in misery.
Yeah, I was like, I thought these were really cool stakes that they set up for
totally.
This one.
And the idol was kind of an interesting character too, because she hated being an idol, hated all her fans.
Yeah.
But she was doing it because she wants to win an Oscar.
Basically, yeah.
So her logic was that she would become an idol, and then when she was big enough, she'd start doing film.
Yeah, she'd just transition
and then
acting.
she'd get an Oscar.
Well, or at least, could get better roles and go to America because she'd be well known.
Yeah, which I thought was I don't know, I thought she was an interesting character with a weird backstory. Compared to all the other council members, right? We've got rich girl who collects people's fingernails.
Sure.
We had kind of bland girl.
Yeah, she didn't really have that much going on.
Yeah.
She was just kind of like stoic.
She thought she was really cool, and the rest of the council was like, you're lower tier council, you're not that great. And then there's Eye Patch, who's crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
There's the council leader, who's kind of a shadowy character.
Yes.
There's her second in command that has the mask, who's kind of a shadowy character.
Yeah.
And then there's like weird kawaii girl who's like like super cute with pigtails and always wears like an Eevee hoodie or something.
Some kind of jumper onesie.
Yeah. And has like a sucker, and she's like kind of high energy, but also like, and then there's the dude who's the accountant, who's basically just stoic dude accountant, which I end up really liking.
No, I was gonna say, him coming up, right? Yeah.
But the idol, I was like, that is such a weird bad guy to have.
Yeah.
Somebody that's like.
Well, she was like the council's PR woman, right?
But like, you know. Like, the council's kind of like the bad guys, right?
Shadowy council.
So it's just such a weird, like, flip from average stuff.
Yeah, because she was all, persona nice and welcoming. Oh, I love all my fans.
And whenever you
shakes all their hands.
Whenever you see close up of her eyes, there's fucking stars instead of pupils.
Stars instead of pupils in her eyes. Yeah, that made me laugh a lot too. So yeah, they set up the idol game, and like I said, I really liked the stakes. I thought that was the most interesting stakes that they had set so far. But then it's literally like an idol competition, and then they come out and do some songs, some dancing, some like other stuff, and I was like,
don't they like
weird?
Don't they set up Yumiko to sing and then they cut right away?
Well, they even do it. No, they do it for the other girl too. They just play like a tune and then they don't really like have them sing something.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we'll score it, right?
Yeah.
And they do that for both Yumiko and the idol girl. The idol girl sings though some kind of like K-pop type upbeat song.
Yeah.
And Yumiko is clearly singing something more somber.
Yeah. And they dress Yumiko up in her idol outfit.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, there was some interesting stuff, but I just thought, I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Yumiko wins.
Well, it comes to a thing where...
A roll of the dice. Yes, I remember,
This was, she was like, she was able to roll the exact number she wanted, or whatever, and I was like... Okay. On big giant 10-sided dice that they have to throw across the stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, she rolls, and then the last thing, the idol girl had set it up that it was like Yumiko was gonna get close, and then she was gonna crush all the rest because the rest of the things were all like fan type questions.
Right.
But Yumiko had Ryota, Mary, and Yumeto, who is now her friend and wants to like help her in the crowd.
Right.
And then it lands on Mary.
Oh, actually, I liked this.
Yeah.
Where they had to guess her birthday.
Guess her birthday, yeah.
So, I can't remember what the idol guessed.
9. Because she saw Yumiko
saw
a 6.
Right, and then so she guessed September.
Yes.
And Yumiko guessed June, and it was whoever was closer.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of like...
playing the odds on the months.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, it goes back to Yumiko just crazy gambling. She didn't know the answer.
Being a crazy gambler.
Yeah, she didn't know the answer. And I thought I didn't catch it, I guess, because I thought it had to be like date, not just like the month.
Oh,
and I was like, well, she could guess something else in 6 in June.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay, they had to just go month. And then it seemed like and even the idol girl was thinking about it, that it'd be too obvious, because the way Yumiko writes like a 6, it's like...
Oh, yeah.
Totally like in front of her, and she's like, I'm writing a 6, basically.
Yeah, so she thought she'd take it upside down. So she picked 9 as well.
9, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then it ended up being like March or something.
Yeah, it was March, so... Yumiko was closer.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I was saying. She didn't know Mary's birthday was in March.
Yeah, so she just guessed.
She picked the middle, split the difference, and then the idol loses, and then the tape is. I didn't like this.
Okay.
The tape is released, and then all the fans are like, "It's okay, we still love you." And I was like, no, that's not the conclusion.
I think that's just a commentary on how like rabid fans are sometimes.
I guess, maybe. I was like, man. I was like, then the stakes didn't matter.
Yeah, but they did matter to her at the time, I'll allow it.
Sure. But I just thought it was kind of like, Ah, man. I guess because it was her hardcore fan group, right? It was
right, yeah.
That was there.
They were the only ones who could get tickets.
Yeah, exactly. It was just her hardcore fans. So. And then the 3 others because they had Yumete use her money to get in. But then she immediately challenges because she's like, "Oh, it wasn't the idol's fault, and she was set up by somebody on the council." Dun dun dun. And then she calls out Accounting Man.
Yes, which I had just no interest in him up until this episode,
sure. And
then I'm like, oh man, he's kind of a cool character.
Yeah.
He reminded me of the from Oron Academy, the one that always gets called Mother.
I don't recall Oron.
Kyoto.
Yeah. I've only seen like a couple episodes of it.
Oh my gosh, why aren't we watching Oron Academy right now?
Because we're doing this show.
Next week, Oron.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, he's just generic stoic, like,
glasses,
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, with glasses, right? But then he's got all this motivation, and he wants to be like a minister of finance.
Yes, yeah. Right. His dad told him when he was a kid that that's what he was gonna do.
That's what he was gonna do.
He wasn't good. Yeah. There was
already a life plan for him.
Yeah, astronaut wasn't good enough.
Yeah, no, yeah, he had to be minister of finance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was already a life plan, basically, as long as he didn't screw it up.
Right, yeah.
So he didn't want, and he was like, no, I'm not going to agree to gamble with Yumeko, because he's just like, you're a house pet or whatever. And then she's like, every house pet has the option to gamble with any council member anytime.
For their freedom.
And then, so she's like, oh, okay, well, I'm still a house pet. Boom, we're gambling.
Yeah. And what do they play?
They play poker, and this was another game I was going to talk about. Because, again, there were some variants on it. So they were playing draw poker. I guess there was a limit of you could only throw away and draw 2 cards, but this was weird, and I don't know if this is a Japanese thing. They were showing the cards that they were throwing away, which in poker you definitely don't do that.
I think that was a TV show thing to make it more intense, to give you more internal dialogue.
Or it could have been one of the dealer stipulations you have to show.
Yeah,
which I would have been fine with that.
Oh, and they get the masked.
The second in command.
The second in command to
be the dealer.
And because the president has gone AWOL.
Yeah,
and
she left.
Why.
Yeah, no one knows why. And then, they're gonna play this poker, and it's draw poker, and then the gambling. You got an ante, but then it's whoever raises the most can choose if high hands matter or low hands matters. Cool. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but you can't call.
Yeah.
You can only fold or raise.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then that just means whoever has the most chips will always be able to, which is the point.
That was kind of the point, yeah.
Yeah, they pointed out, but I was like, then the game starts immediately at an unfair advantage because Yumeko only has 31 chips and Buddy buys 100 chips.
Right.
And they're worth 10 million apiece.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of the defeats it, kind of. Then it becomes more about the bluffing, but I was like, I liked the variant if they'd
been on equal footing.
And then it's like, okay, should I bet more on this potential hand? Like, will it win? Will it not win? Because then it's just like, which is what happens. They lure him in.
Yeah, so Yumeko loses all her chips pretty fast.
Immediately.
And then Yumete, whatever her name is.
Yumete or something.
Ends up
staking her.
Yeah, well, it gives her some money first. Yeah. And then once that's gone.
Yeah, because she just bets it like all immediately.
Yeah, because she's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they end up betting the girl, basically.
The stakes keep going up, and then Yumeko's like, I'll bet my life plan, I'll follow it, and then Yumete's like, I'll get in there, because then eventually it keeps getting raised.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Yumete is betting more and more money every time, because they're basically sharking dude.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we'll bet 10 more, and he's like, okay, I'll bet another 10 more.
Yeah. Yeah, they're sharking him, basically. Yeah,
because the stakes just keep getting super raised.
Yeah. So he ends up betting his life plan.
Yeah, he's like, right? I will bet my life plan. No.
Yeah, because he's confident he'll win anyway.
Yes, because...
and he kind of wants Yumete to be his wife. I got that impression, or he had... since he met her, he had kind of had plans for her.
Yeah, kind of a thing. And then he's also seen Yumiko throw away a pair of queens.
Yes.
In the draw phase, which is pretty huge.
Yeah.
Right? And then he threw away, like, very, like, trash.
Yeah.
Right? So he's like, okay, I know I have, like, the good hand. Right?
Yeah.
So, because he thought she was going for low hand or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, he's like, I'll bet everything. He's like, high card wins. He had 3 8s. And she's like, ba-boom, trip jacks. It was pretty sweet.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I actually really did like that variant about it, but I was just like, oh, it'd be cool if there was a way to make it, like, not fair, but, like, work mechanically, because I was like, I'd like to try to play that.
Yeah, no, that'd be, like, if everybody had, like, a limit of 20 chips or something.
Yeah, or it was like, you know, it was possible to call, I guess, and then whoever did the last raise got to choose.
Right.
That would make kind of sense, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, if you're like, oh, I don't want him to raise higher, but I still think I'll get in there or whatever, right? But it kind of let you grind it out a little more. But I thought it was a cool poker variant again that they did on it. And it was kind of interesting just how they played it out, because both times she lost, she threw away like a pair.
Yeah.
Right?
She was just luring him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he kind of throws a fit.
Yeah, he goes down pretty hard.
And then we get the reveal that...
Well, there was revealed before, when they're still betting, right?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, because he was like, after she bites her fingernails and everything off.
Right, yeah,
which was pretty awesome. And then he's like, no, I don't accept that bet. And she's like, well, Yumito was like, well, ask the dealer. And the dealer's like, blame.
I'm actually the president.
El Presidente. And then her lackey girl's like, oh my god, it was her the whole time.
And one of my favorite parts is that she's like, okay, well, now that I'm not wearing a mask, can you please braid my hair and paint my nails so that I look right?
Yeah. And that's what I was laughing about that too. They like pause the game so she can get her hair done.
So good.
Crazy anime style.
Yeah.
And then it's the president.
And then so it's the final countdown.
Basically.
Yeah.
Well, they set up, they're like, we're going to play tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is the final episode. Yeah, and then they play...
There's a visual that I really like where it's Yumiko and the president sitting in chairs facing each other, and then all of a sudden they're in space.
They're in space.
Yeah. They're so cool.
Yeah. It's just showing that they're just otherworldly.
It reminded me... Did you ever play or like watch a playthrough of Doki Doki Literature Club?
No. Unfortunately, I haven't.
But you should. That's a weird game.
Sure.
But anyways, there's a point at the end where you kind of get Monica in space. Sorry for spoilers for anyone who hasn't played Doki Doki Literature Club, but you should.
Yeah.
Do you know about it?
You've told me about it, yeah.
It's basically... It's like an anime dating sim, but one of the characters gets AI.
Yeah.
And shit goes so bizarre after that. It's really fun. Yeah. Anyways.
So they have some talk and some dialogue, and then it sets up they're going to play a game, and we don't know the game until because Yumete's like, oh, I got all this stuff we can cheat so we can try to beat the president.
Yeah. Right. And then Yumiko's like, no,
I'm just going to go gamble.
I'm just going to go gamble. That's what I've been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
And Ryota, like, I have faith in you.
Yeah. I'll bring heart. Captain Planet style.
Ryota really is heart.
Yeah.
Everyone else is useful.
Yes. No, and then, so they get a deck of tarot cards, and I thought this was, again, kind of cool. They set them on a round table.
So they just use the major arcana, and they set it up.
Yeah.
So that, because it goes 0 to 21.
Plus the Fool.
Well, the Fool is 0.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Isn't he?
I don't know. I don't know tarot cards very well.
I think the Fool is 0.
Okay.
The world is 21. They set it up.
Yes.
A big round circle.
Yeah. Shuffled and dealt out.
They use Yumito's cards.
Yeah.
And Kawaii Girl is the dealer.
Yes. And then the game is there's going to be 3 picks. One by the president, one by Yumiko, and then Ryota.
Yeah.
And then the numbers that they pick, if it's facing a certain direction, is positive towards Yumiko's score. If it's the other direction, it's negative towards the president's score. Which I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But I was like, that seems kind of a weird 3 picks to like determine your outcome of the game.
Yeah, and if it's a fool, it's 0. So.
If it's a fool, or not, if the fool's facing a certain way, Yumiko automatically wins, and if it's facing the other way, the president automatically wins. Right. No matter what the score is.
Yeah.
So I was like, that seems kind of like just 3 picks and then the game. There's no like back and forth.
Yeah, I think that it's supposed to be like, this is pure chance.
Yes.
There's no cheating.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Right?
But then there kind of was.
But what's there?
Well, that's what I liked.
Yeah.
So they get Ryota is going to do the last pick.
Yeah.
And then...
so it's
well,
fair.
I don't know. Yeah, well, so it's a little more fair. Look, we're in spoilers. The first pick, Yumiko picks like a 1, facing her direction.
Doesn't the president pick first? I thought the president picked first.
No, I think Yumiko picks first, and then the president picks for the past, because she's been at the school. Because the stakes are, whoever loses can never come back to the school.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's the
stakes, which I was like, it's kind of cool, but then,
yeah. I remember it that you might be right, but I remember the president picked first and got a really...
She got 21.
She got 21 points in her favor. And then Yumiko picked, and everyone's like, what's she going to get? And then only gets a 1.
I thought it was the other way around. I could be wrong as well.
Yeah, okay, anyways.
Either way.
We come down to the main character, Ryota.
Has to make the god pick.
And they notice that one of the cards has a marking on it.
Yes.
So they think that might be the fool.
I think it's the president's makeup, because she explained the game and held the fool card and twisted it. Yeah. And you could see her her finger was on it.
Yeah.
Right.
So they see the card with the mark.
Yeah.
And if Ryota picks it, he can kind of flip it in Yumiko's favor.
Yeah.
And win the game. But instead, he goes, no. He's like, my path is not predetermined.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick this card.
Well, I did like that scene, because then they like, because he's never had that same effect like all the other characters that are gambling, where he goes all like red-eyed and everything, and then he's all like, and then they just kind of like show him going over and everything. Like he's 100% into the game, and he's like, this is gambling right now.
Yeah, because in the whole game, or in the whole season, he's always like, oh, Yumiko, don't do that, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose all your money. And then she wins. Yeah. And he's like, oh my god, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Blah, blah, blah. And when she loses, he's like, oh my god, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, don't worry about it, I'll just gamble some more.
Yeah.
So he's kind of a wet blanket up till this point. But at that point, he's like, no, I trust in Yumiko.
Yeah.
I trust in chance. You can't tell me what to do. And he ends up... That's why I think he's the main character. Because that's his moment of change.
I'm not saying it's not his moment. It's a great moment. Yeah. And he, like I said, it is a moment of change for him. Mm-hmm. And he picks he picks 20. So their scores become 0.
Yeah, so they tie.
So they draw.
They both get to stay.
Yeah. But I just thought, like I said, it was a cool scene and it was well done. I just thought it was such a weird, after like everything else game-wise we've seen, it's like this is literally 3 cards.
Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like that was a good choice. Like if it had been too complicated, I don't know, I felt like it was the right... Like, I could... It did feel a little bit anticlimactic, but at the same time, I think it was the right choice.
No, I understand. I see what you're saying from that angle, that it was like, here's pure chance on just 21 cards. Or I guess because I am a gamer, I was like, no, where's some game?
Where's the boss fight?
No, not the boss fight. But but like, where's some mechanics? And you're doing some cards, and you got some dice, and you do something, right? Like, it's like, no, we're just picking some cards. They're facing up, they're facing down. That's how it goes.
True.
Yeah, so, that's kind of like, but I can see what you're saying, like how it's just like, it was like a pure, especially with a tarot deck, which of course is, the destiny and reading the future and all that kind of stuff like that. So, which I did like that.
I liked it too, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. Using the tarot cards.
Yeah.
I just thought it was just, like I said, funny that it was 3 picks of a card and that's it.
And that's it. Game over.
Game over.
Yeah.
And then the referee gathers the cards, so you never find out.
So you never find out if
that card was a fool or
if
not.
it was cheating or not cheating.
Because I am also kind of in Ryota's camp, where I think the president would have marked a different card on purpose.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah. She was too smart for just being like, oh, I accidentally marked the wrong card. So that was my thought anyway.
I don't know. I liked that you just don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm okay with not knowing. I just I was just a personal. I was like, no, yeah, it was a double bluff.
Yeah, fair enough. Enough. We'll never know.
We'll never know. Although I guess you could pause it at the screen because they show the ref and she has, I think, the entire deck on the floor around her, and she's holding the card with the mark facing the camera or the screen, and so she's holding it. So I guess you could theoretically pause and look at all the cards and see if the fool is amongst them on the ground.
Yeah, if they took that much.
If they, hey, anime, they go pretty detailed sometimes.
It's a lot of continuity to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the games.
That was the games, and like I said, there was some cool stuff that I liked, and some neat variants on some things.
Totally.
That I enjoyed.
What did you think about the side plot that did not get resolved or give us much information?
Which side plot is that?
So
all of them?
All of them.
Yeah.
No. So while this is all going on, we get a scene where the president is with all the leaders of her family.
Yeah, the heads of her family, which are literally monitors.
Yeah.
or radios.
And she's like, I'm the head of the family. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, basically, she's like, you're all useless.
Yeah. And then we kind of get a double reveal where there's like...
She has a twin.
Yeah. And which one is actually the president.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and did she play the president? Did she not play the president?
Yeah, I assume they take turns.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But, so what do you think's going on with that?
Well, and this was something I wanted to touch on because this show apparently was based off of the manga, of course. Mm-hmm. The last 2 episodes, I think it was, or from episode 10 on, they were ahead of the manga.
Oh.
So this wasn't, or not that they were ahead of the manga. Yeah, I think they were ahead of the manga, and then so they wrote their own. And the season 2 that is actually going to be made is literally only going to be based on 2 volumes of the manga. And this took up, like, out of, I think there's 10 volumes. Mm-hmm. This was like 8 volumes of the manga. So there's a lot there that we don't get to see.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying that maybe how I was saying I didn't like it as much because there wasn't enough character, this or that. Maybe that's all in there.
Yeah, maybe that, yeah.
And it was just, we didn't get a chance to see that because, like you say, we get this montage where it's like, oh, she has a twin, she's the head of a family.
Yeah.
What kind of family? How powerful is this? She's like, I'm going to dissolve the student council. And you're like, wait, what? Like, this was all revealed right in the end, and then you're just like, so what's happening?
Who are you?
Yeah. Yeah, like, how, like, it's always assumed, all these kids have, like, high political connections and stuff, and this and that. Clearly the president and the student council were picked, especially the president. She rose to the top, and she's like, this is going to be my, like, entourage that has, like, great connections.
Yeah.
And so it's like, she clearly, in the real world, has more going on, but we don't know. We got no idea.
And it's also, like, the president's an interesting character because she got that position by challenging the former president in her first year to a game at gambling and then won.
Yeah,
and
destroyed everybody.
Destroyed her and became, so it's like, what happened to the other president? Is she a mittens?
Or did she have to transfer out? Was that part of the, like, maybe her stakes?
Maybe that was part of her stakes, yeah.
Well, because then apparently in the manga, in the final, or in that confrontation, which, like I said, it continues on, but they play for apparently life or death stakes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
not just, you can't come back to school.
You're not allowed in anymore.
Yeah, which I was reading that and I was like, oh, wow, that's like, that would make sense because the show has its dark moments.
Yeah, oh, yeah, totally. Well, I mean, there's like, there's the whole kind of subplot with Eye Patch and the president, where the president literally says, one day I'm going to kill you. Yeah. It means it,
Yeah, so like you say, I am unsure of what was going on all in there because it's very brief.
Yeah.
And we just don't get a lot of information about this other kind of stuff. It's like she's the head of some kind of or I guess it's like she's almost doing like a hostile takeover because it's assumed these other people are
adults?
Older, adults. And then she's just like, no, I control it all. You guys are all useless.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. It was just like, what? So I was just, like I said, I was doing a little bit of reading about it. Apparently there's more in the manga going on, of course.
Oh yeah, there's always more in the manga going on.
But it sounds like there's a lot more just because of how much they condense. Because usually mangas to anime, they do enough where it's like, it's almost beat for beat or shot for shot in a sense. Like, enough's there. But this apparently compressed quite a bit.
I really liked it, though. Overall.
Like I said, I enjoyed it. I had some nitpicky type stuff about it, but I thought it was really cool. Just some of the games, characters, Yumiko is clearly crazy, and that's cool and interesting, but then just like she always wins anyway.
Well, except when she doesn't.
Yeah, but it's like she knows she got cheated, so it's not really like a loss.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I guess so.
And it's just money. And again, her backstory, that's was one of the things that's like, we get all the bad guys' backstories all the time.
Oh yeah, we vaguely get hers, and she's got a sister in a hospital.
That she apparently pays for.
Yeah.
Her parents are dead, and she apparently inherited money.
So I totally thought that we were going to get a reveal that she didn't have a sister in a hospital.
I could 100% see that.
That she escaped from a mental institution. That's what I thought.
Yeah, or just was like, hey, I'm going to leave. And they're like, but you're not really healthy. And she's like, here's $10 million, I'm out.
Yeah. Right. Like, I thought maybe she was, like, locked up in an asylum.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
And, like, got out somehow.
Yeah. No, I could 100% see that.
Or, like, her sister. And the other thing I thought maybe might be a reveal is that her sister used to go to the school and became a mittens. And, like, it drove her insane. So she was coming back for revenge.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
But I don't think that would have worked with her character as much. Because she's just crazy.
Yeah, I could definitely see that angle. Like I said.
That's a different anime.
Yeah, I could see that angle that you're saying, that she was the mental patient or whatever, and then she just like maintains fake records that there's like, oh, my sister's there.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever, right? Just to like keep it legit that she's out in the world.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, that could be kind of a cool, and again, that could be in season 2.
That might be season 2.
Yeah, there could be some more stuff there, so... Yeah, that was... We don't get her backstory because the stakes...
Or maybe she drove her sister insane.
With her gambling?
With her gambling.
Yeah.
Or she was supposed to be committed and she swapped places with her sister. So her sister's actually sane and keeps telling people she's sane, and that makes them think she's crazier.
She's crazy. She's crazy. No, but it just... Because then the money stakes become, like, meaningless.
Yeah.
Because in the first episode, Ryota... And that was one of the things we don't get really... Like, Mary and Ryota... How are they at the school when they're, like, crippled by $5 million debt for Ryota, or 5 million yen, sorry, and Mary down 50 million? Yeah. That's a lot, but then it's like, then she's gambling for stakes for hundreds of millions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, well, how much, what's her bank limit then?
Yeah, I feel like with,
because we get a small taste of that with Yumite when they're doing the poker game. Right. It just keeps raising and raising, and then she's like, okay, I'm getting to, like, I can't draw that much money from a bank account ever again.
I feel like with Yamako, she just doesn't care about money, so she would bet money she doesn't have.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. That would be a compulsive gambler.
She's a compulsive gambler?
She is indeed one.
Compulsive gambler, the anime.
Yeah. Well, I think you looked it up. That's literally the translation.
That's what it means. Yeah.
That's the literal translation of the title. So. But I just meant that so we don't get to know if those stakes matter.
Oh, right.
Ever.
Yeah.
Because she's like, oh, I'm down 310 million, and then she never pays it back. And then it's like, well, does that mean she doesn't have 310 million, or she has it and doesn't care, right?
I think regardless of whether or not she has it, she doesn't care.
Yeah, I think she doesn't care. She just wants to gamble.
Even if they gave her like a life plan, she just would just do what she wants.
Well, and I would say there was a great scene when she has a coin flip with Ryota, just for like paying for going out to her sweet shop.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't actually know if she just tells him that she wins. Or
I wasn't sure either.
Because I don't know Japanese coins well. And then even after that, though, she's like, oh, but I had a great time gambling. Like, and it was just a coin flip.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't she, like, ask him something? I think she, like...
they have a little bit of dialogue before she reveals who wins.
Yeah, and he says something sweet.
Sweet that he likes being with her and having a good time. Yeah. And she's his friend or whatever.
Yeah, right? So I think she makes it so she wins.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. She just called it in his favor, right?
Because she wants to spend some time with him.
Yeah. But it was just, she still just is, because she always says the same thing after every game, except for I think with Eye Patch, where she's like, oh, thanks for gambling, I had a great time.
Yeah, totally.
Even though they're crippled on the floor, or she's down millions of yen, and she's just like, I had a great time. Even in like the first episode, when she figures out that Ryota was helping Mary cheat because Ryota was a pet. Yes.
And he, like, confesses to her.
Yeah, he's like, I was doing it.
He's like, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, oh, here's a million yen. Yeah. It was really nice for you to make the game interesting. Thanks, bye.
Yeah. Basically.
She's like, I don't want to know that I'm going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like it's kind of interesting, and then some of the fan service, I guess we call it, it's like... it's not needed to make the show cool or good.
I know,
it's like a show thing, I guess.
But what I appreciate about it is that it's so gratuitous.
Yeah, no, they're not like accidental or.
It's not like. Okay, so like in Oron, they kind of do it, but it's kind of classy. Like they'll kind of like oopsie, and then they'll make it all sparkly and have like fucking rosebuds everywhere, and then blushing and shit.
Yeah.
But in this one, they're like unabashedly like she's sitting with her legs wide open, and there's her panties.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Which I appreciate.
Okay.
Not because I want to see panties, but because like if you're gonna do it, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love Oron as well.
Sure.
It's a different anime.
It's definitely a different show.
And that style suits this show.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was saying earlier, like when they do a lot of cuts with people and like you were saying, all their faces become distorted and their eyes, like when they're in the deep game and their stakes are getting raised.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the real deal, and it's like you can see they're all like twisted, broken people, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the point.
And it suits the show.
Yeah, absolutely it does. So yeah, I don't know. I very much enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, and like I said, I was after reading and finding out that this was based off a manga and this and that, and I was like, well, maybe I'll give the manga a read, and then I kind of don't want to because I would like to watch season 2, but it doesn't come out till next year, I think, or something like that. So
yeah, have to wait so long.
Yeah, it's just to then watch it and then because again they could do something differently because some shows do that. You take different turns and liberties, and then just how much is potentially in a manga versus a show.
Right.
Which that's gonna happen. Like any book to film thing, right? Like,
oh yeah, totally.
So it's not. They just have to do what they have to do.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things I felt was. Because I guess maybe this was only 12 episodes. It seemed like some of the things were just so compressed. Like how quickly it just progressed from like this game to this game to this council. It's like she never like gambles with a few more students, and then she's like, oh, I'll gamble with this student council person, and they're like, oh, like there's always tiers usually in anime. She just immediately is like gambling with the high tier people right away. But
in this show's defense, a lot of the time, like, I don't know, there's a lot of filler in anime.
Yeah.
When they're trying to like slow down so that the manga can catch up.
Sure.
I appreciated that this was like.
Yeah, I was just saying that there was, again, maybe it goes back to I was wanting more schemes, that they're like, oh, we can do this, and then we can like trap them in a game, and then you get to play.
But that would have been a different show.
I guess. I'm just...
This is about a crazy person staking everything.
Constantly.
For no reason other than it amuses her.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
I just was, I don't know. I was, like I said, it would... but then again, maybe that's a manga thing, but because they have more time, maybe there's some more schemes.
Maybe.
Yeah, honestly.
But I liked it the way it was.
Okay.
Because I liked that, like, it wasn't your typical anime.
That's true.
Yeah. And I recommend it.
Yeah, like I said, I definitely would recommend it as well. I know some people... Or I've seen some negative reviews.
Oh, really?
Like, really, huh? And I thought it was just neat because it was different.
What were the negative reviews? Did you read any of them?
Not to depths or whatever, but...
But what, were they mad there was no Pokemon in it?
Basically.
No. Idiots.
Yeah.
No. Swine. No, yeah. I could see people being turned off by the show.
Sure.
Honestly.
Like...
It's a weird style.
Yeah.
It's not a typical anime.
Yeah.
Why I liked it though.
Yes, and that's why I'm agreeing with. Like I could see,
and it did have like some anime tropes in it, and it had some cool art style and stuff like that. But it was
the entire council was a trope. Like
I know it was so good.
Literally every one of them is an anime trope.
I know. I loved it.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the art style was really cool. Crisp animation, like really well done.
Totally well done. Yeah. Especially when they were being ugly. It looked so good.
Well, and even I thought just like the day-to-day character stuff, they looked good.
It looked good. And I know it happened in every episode, and I still liked it in every episode, but when Yumiko's eyes flash to red, like when she's really getting into gambling, it looks so good every time.
Yeah. No, that's it. And I always enjoyed that too, because then you get a little bit about her.
Then you know what's up.
She's doing something crazy here.
Yeah.
And then they always just, the way she always like sidles up to like characters and is like whispering in their ear, even though they're like supposedly like sitting across from each other playing a game. And then she's like, you can do it.
She just gets really unhinged really fast. Yeah. And afterwards, she's like, oh, hey, Ryota.
Yeah, basically. And then she's always like, oh, thanks for the game. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there is anything more you want to say.
No, I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Wrap it up.
The wrap it up box.
Yeah. I liked it. I would watch it again. You should watch it. Dan says watch it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to potentially like I said, the season 2, and then maybe
I'm looking forward to the live action movie.
There was a live action something that played apparently in Japan.
Oh my god.
At least that's what Wikipedia said.
We have to find it.
We have to find it.
We have to find it, and we have to find the Oron live action, and then we have to watch both of them and compare them.
I haven't watched
They're both about high school students.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't watched that. Well, I would say one of the few I've watched is Uzumaki, which was Spiral, and it's like a horror manga, and they made a live action of it. Clearly, they couldn't put everything in that was in the manga, of course, and it was weird.
Yeah, of course. Well, we watched Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
And Death Note.
Yeah.
Oh, Death Note. Anyways, on that sour note, we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
You can find us at www. You don't need the W's.
What? You need them?
Tomeofuselessness.com.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram as @tome_of_uselessness. And we're nowhere else right now.
And YouTube.
And YouTube, sorry.
But it's our audio mostly. And some solo videos.
Some solo videos. You can watch Dan unbox a game. You can watch me risk my life on the Capilano Suspension Bridge.
Yeah.
Anywhere else? We're nowhere else.
I don't think so.
One day I'll make a Facebook, Twitter.
Well, you'd have to do that one, like I said.
I know I would. Okay. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.